Good morning, students. I welcome you all in today's online class, and today we are going to discuss about chapter number 11 from history, and the title of the chapter 11 is the Iron Age Civilization. That means already in the last chapter, that is chapter number 10, already we read about one type of civilization that is called as the Bronze Age civilization. It is also that we have read about the Indus Valley civilization. So whatever we read in chapter number 10, that is about the Bronze Age civilization, and now in this chapter we are going to read about the Iron Age and also the Iron Age civilization. So before going to the discussion of the chapter, let us recapitulate, let us know the basic things at first. So till now, from chapter that is 9 to 11, chapter 9 and 10, in these two chapters we have read about two ages, one that is called as Stone Age, another is called as Metal Age. So what is the difference between Stone Age and Metal Age? Stone Age is equal to that when stones were used to make the tools, weapons and utensils. That type of age is called as Stone Age, and Metal Age means when or in that type of period, in the period when the metals were used to make the tools, weapons and utensils, that is called as Metal Age. In the life of early man, at first there was a Stone Age, and this Stone Age again that is divided into Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. And Paleolithic means at that time food gathering and hunting. These two things were the main occupation of the people. People were not knowing about the food producing, but from Mesolithic we started to do the food producing, that means agricultural activity, and in also Neolithic. But in Neolithic also we started to do the pottery, so some improvement occurred, some changes occurred, and then from the Stone Age we shifted to the Metal Age. That means we started to use different type of metals to make the tools, to make the weapons, to make the utensils. And the first age under the Metal Age, that is Copper Age. It is also called a Chalcolithic period, when the copper and also that stones were used to make the tools, weapons and utensils. Next Metal Age, that is in chapter number 10 we already discussed, that is called as Bronze Age. It is that type of age, or it is that type of period in history when bronze means it is the combination of two metals, tin and copper. Tin plus copper mixed, then that we have developed a new type of metal that is called as bronze. It is stronger than copper. The age when bronze metal was used to make the tools and weapons, that is called as Bronze Age. Then after Bronze Age, now in this chapter number 11 we have to read about the Iron Age. That means the name is telling that is what the age or the period in history when iron, the metal that was used to make the tools, to make the weapons, to make the utensils, that is called as Iron Age. So that is the basic knowledge that we have to know. So that means in this chapter we have to read about Iron Age and the civilization which was developed in this age. So let us begin. First of all, before going to know about the Iron Age and Iron Age civilization, we have to know about the name. We have to know about that type of people. We can say that we can say also that that type of migrated people who came to India, and who also some historians believed that they were mainly responsible for the destruction, for the declination of the Indus Valley civilization. So let us know who were they. Here you can see that is written who were Aryans. Aryans means the migrated people, those who came from Central Asia. Here in this map you can see that they crossed the Hindu Kush mountain. Here on this map you can see Hindu Kush is written. They crossed the Hindu Kush mountain, they entered in India and they lived in India. Now the question, when they lived and etc. So let us find out. The word Aryan comes from the Sanskrit word Arya. By 1500 BCE, the Aryans invaded India. Why is it called as invaded? Because it is believed that they forcefully entered. That means without Permission entered, that means they had not taken any permission, forcefully they entered, that is called as invaded India, crossing the Hindu Kush mountain. On this map you can see where is the Hindu Kush mountain. It is believed that they migrated from the Central Asia, and also some people believe that is what they came from Iran. So there is a different type of speculations present, but generally we are thinking that is what they came from the Central Asia. They were the nomadic cattle herders. So what is called as nomadic? Nomadic means that type of activity where people are moving from one place to another place, people are migrating from one place to another place with their animals. And now you can ask, why are they moving from one place to another place? Because in search of food for the animals. Now you can ask that why are they searching for the food for the animals? Because the animals were the main source of income, animals providing them food. That's why animals play important role in their life, and that's why they were moving from one place to another place. And now also that type of occupation present in Himalayan mountains region. Some people are moving from one place to another place with their animals. When at one place the grassland or the food for the animal that is finished, then they are going to another place, and that type of migration is going on, and that is called as what? Nomadic. And the people are called as nomads, and that is the thing here written, they were the nomadic cattle herders. Nomadic cattle herders means, again I am telling that they were moving from one place to another place with their animals. Why were they moving? Because to search the food for the animals. Next, it is also believed by some historians that Aryans were responsible for the destruction of the Indus Valley civilization. It is also believed by some historians that there was a good connection between the Indus Valley people and the Aryans, and that's why some people are thinking, some historians are thinking that maybe Aryans were responsible for the destruction or for the declination of the Indus Valley civilization. So that means in this chapter we have to read about the Aryans, because Aryans belong to the Iron Age civilization. There is a great connection present between Aryans and the Iron Age civilization. So what I have told in this total topic, that Aryans, one type of migrated people, they migrated, they came from which place? Central Asia. They crossed the Hindu Kush mountain, they entered India. They also, some historians believe that they were responsible for the destruction of the Indus Valley civilization, but there is also doubt present that we don't know, it is not that type of 100% sure information. Now come to the next, that is what is called as Iron Age, the period in history when iron was used to make tools. Already I discussed this thing, weapons, utensils, it is called as the Iron Age. Around 1200 BC or BCE, anyone you can write, the Iron Age followed the Bronze Age. That means after Bronze Age, Iron Age came in the Indian history, or that is world history, and when around 1200 BCE, when the early man came to know of that iron is superior. Superior means that is better and also stronger than the copper and bronze, then they started to use the iron. That's why the Iron Age started in our life. Next, that is Iron Age civilization. So the ancient human civilization when iron was used to make tools, weapons, utensils is called as the Iron Age civilization. So Iron Age civilization means that it is that type of civilization when we started to use the iron to make tools, utensils and weapons. Around 1200 BC, the Iron Age civilization followed the Bronze Age civilization. Some of the Iron Age civilization have been found in many parts of the world. So let us see where the Iron Age civilization mainly developed. Number 1 Greece, number 2 Rome, number 3 Iran, number 4 India. So let us see and check on the map. So take a look, we have already I have told that around the Mediterranean Sea region, this red color portion is Mediterranean Sea, and take a look, that is the Greece, and then that is the Rome here, that is it is located in Italy, and then also that is Iran. These are the countries where the Iron Age civilization were developed at that time, that means in the Iron Age near about 1200 BC. Next, that is what the Iron Age civilization in India. It was developed where this yellow color portion, take a look in this portion. At that time there was no division between India and Pakistan, and that's why it is called as only India. But now so many places of Vedic civilization, so many places of Iron Age civilization located in Pakistan also, just like the Indus Valley civilization. So many sites of Indus Valley civilization now at present located at where? In Pakistan. But that time there was no division between India and Pakistan, so that's why here it is the Iron Age civilization of India. So Iron Age civilization of India, what is the name? The Vedic civilization. Why is it called as Vedic civilization? Why it is not called directly Iron Age civilization? This thing we'll discuss. Now come to the next. What type of tools were manufactured in the Iron Age? I have already told tools were mainly made by iron, but what type of tools? Sickle, spades, axe, saw, nails, etc. These tools helped in a variety of occupations. So now let us see other important features of the Iron Age. So iron was used to make stronger tools like sickle, spades, axe, etc. And second number, the Iron Age civilization was related, or Iron Age civilization was started to develop around the Mediterranean Sea. This thing already we have seen. Again check it through the map. So Mediterranean, this is the region where the mainly Iron Age civilization was developed, around the Mediterranean Sea. This is written in this point. Now come to the next. The barter system was replaced by the currency system. So what is called as barter system? So let us see here. Barter system means it is an old method of exchange. Exchange means, take a look in this picture, that this person right hand side, this violet color dressed person, this person is giving something to this green color dressed person, and this green color dressed person also giving something to this second number person. That means it is exchange, that exchange with the help of goods, we exchange with the help of service. That time there was no use of money, no use of coins, that's why that type of exchange was there. This system has been used for centuries and long before money was invented. Before the invention of money, before the invention of coins, before the invention of notes, we were exchanging the goods in this way. People exchange services and goods for other services and goods in return. As for example, thing you want to purchase, that is rice. So if you want to purchase the rice, then you have to go to the that type of person who has the rice. So that means what? In the exchange of this, so that means what? That here you have to exchange the goods. If you want to take the rice, you have to search that type of person who has the rice, and then you have to give in the exchange of this thing, that whatever. So in the barter system, what we are doing, that we are exchanging the goods, we are exchanging the services, because at that time there was no that is no concept of currency, no use of coins, no use of notes. That's why here in this picture also you can see exchange is going on. That means you are giving one good to this person, and this person in the exchange giving one goods to you. That type of exchange is going on. The history of bartering dates all the way back to 6000 BC. That means it was started 6000 BC. That means 6000 years ago, like that, 6000 BC. At that time it was introduced by Mesopotamia tribes. Already we read in Indus Valley civilization, that means in the chapter of Indus Valley civilization, that means Bronze Age civilization. At that time Mesopotamia, we have already seen Mesopotamian civilization, it was developed in Iraq. So this thing it was introduced by Mesopotamia tribes. Now come to the next, that is point number 4. Iron Age was associated with the painted grey ware. Painted grey ware means, in this picture you can see, that is the example of painted grey ware. That type of pots, that type of that is grey pots, that type of painted pots were made in this age. Great poems, dramas, grammar, history were written in this age. And 6 number, many religions started to develop in this age. Later we'll discuss in detail. Now come to the next. What was the greatest achievement of the Iron Age? Greatest achievement of the Iron Age was in the field of literature. In the field of literature means like many poems, dramas, grammar, histories were written in this age. Writing was not only used to keep the records, writing was not only used to keep the records but also to express ideas and thinking. So now come to the next, name of some Iron Age civilization. So already I told where the Iron Age civilization mainly developed, that is around the Mediterranean Sea, but also that is in India also it was developed. So let us know some name of the Iron Age civilization. The Greek civilization, it was developed in Greece. The Roman civilization, it was developed in Rome, that is Italy. The Iranian civilization, that means Iran, and the Vedic civilization, that means India. So why is it called as Vedic civilization? Why it is not called as Indian civilization or the Iron Age civilization? So let us find out this thing. So the Vedic civilization, it is an Iron Age civilization developed in India. So Vedic civilization means it is also one type of Iron Age civilization, but it is known by different name. Why it is known by different name, you can understand gradually. Literal meaning of the word Veda means knowledge. Veda means what? Knowledge. From there the word Vedic come. Vedas were the main source of information about this civilization. Vedas means there are 4 Vedas present, you know, the Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Atharva Veda. With the help of these 4 Vedas, we have got the information about this civilization. That's why it is called as the Vedic civilization. This civilization is called as the Vedic civilization, and the Vedas are the main source of information. That's why this period in Indian history is called as the Vedic period. That means when this Vedic civilization developed in India, at that time Vedas were the main source of information. That's why this time, this period, this age in Indian history is called as the Vedic period. Rig Veda is the oldest Veda that you have seen also it is located in the number 1 also. The Rig Veda is the oldest Veda, composed 3500 years ago. So why it is called as Vedic civilization? Because it is one Iron Age civilization, but it was developed in the Vedic period, and Vedas were the main source of information. That's why the name of the civilization is Vedic civilization. Next, that is the Vedic period, I have already told. So let us read it again. The period in Indian history when the Vedic civilization, or we can say the Iron Age civilization in India was developed. Because Vedic civilization, Iron Age civilization, both are same, because Vedic civilization and Iron Age both have developed at the same time. But why the Indian Iron Age civilization is called by Vedic civilization, that I have told, because of the Vedas, because of the Vedic period. The Vedas are the main source of information about this period. That's why it is called as the Vedic period. Next, that is the Vedic period. There are 2 types of Vedic period present. One that is called as the early Vedic period, that means it is in the early stage, and the later Vedic period, it is in the next stage. That means the Vedic period divided into beginning and that is ending. That means in the early stage and in the later stage. Early stage, early Vedic period; later stage, later Vedic period. The early Vedic period, the Rig Veda provides information about the early Vedic period. That means which Veda? There are 4 Vedas already we have discussed: Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda, and the Atharva Vedas. But among these 4, which Veda provides us information about the early Vedic period? That is Rig Veda. That's why this early Vedic period is also called as the Rig Vedic period. And the later Vedic period, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, the Atharva Veda, the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, the Upanishad provide information about the later Vedic period. That's why it is also called as the epic age. We know the epic. Epic means like Ramayana, like Mahabharata, like that. That not only Vedas but also many other that is important that is literature, other important epics also helped us to know, to understand about the later Vedic period. That's why it is called as the epic age. Now come to the next, political condition. So what type of political condition was there? In the early Vedic period, Raja means, you know, that is called as the king. Rajas neither had capitals, that means at that time there was no capital of the kingdom, cities, palaces or armies, nor they collected taxes. So these things were not present in the early stage. In the early Vedic period, kingship was not hereditary. That means who will become the king after that is one king. There was no such type of rule that his son will become king. That type of hereditary rule was not there. Anyone could be king. That was the situation in the early Vedic period. There was no such type of rule that his son will become the king, then his son. That type of hereditary rule was not there. But in the later Vedic period, there were small and large kingdoms. In early Vedic period, there was no division of kingdoms, there was no cities, there were no also palaces, there were no capitals, and also rajas, kings, or maybe samrat. That type of concept was not there. But in the later Vedic period, there were small and large kingdoms. That means kingdoms were divided into two divisions, large and small kingdoms. In the latter Vedic period, kingship was hereditary. Kingship was hereditary means that I have told that today if any person is the king sitting on the throne, that means next after him his son will become the king. Again after his son will become the king. That is called as hereditary. King of a small kingdom was called as Raja. That means if anyone is the king of the small kingdom, then he was called as the Raja. And if anyone was the king of a large kingdom, that means large kingdom was also called as Rashtra, as Samrat or Maharaja. The king was assisted by, that means to help the king, so many people were there. Purohit, that means priest. Mantri, that means minister. Senani, that means head of the army, head of the soldiers. And Gramini, head of village. The king consulted the Sabha and the Samiti on all important matters. And so that is also the thing that king consulted with the Sabha. That means there was that type of concept, that meeting and discussion how to solve the problem. So that is called as Sabha and the Samiti. Next, social condition. The basic unit of the society was the family. So family concept was there, that they have to live in the family, who will be the head of the family. So that type of concept was there. The eldest male member was the head of the joint family. So there was also the head of the family, and who became the head? The eldest member, and also that is the male member, not the female member. So that means what? The society was male dominated society. That's why the head of the family that was male member. So what is the name of the head of the family? Known as Grihapati. Women were held in great respect. Women were held in great respect. That means there was that is great respect for the women also. That means women were not neglected by the society. Women were educated. The participation of wife was essential in all the religious ceremonies. That means that was the importance of the women. The Sati Pratha and child marriage was unknown in the early Vedic period. Sati Pratha means what? After the death of that anyone's husband, this wife has to also, that means when she becomes widow, she has to also sacrifice herself in this same fire where the dead body that is burned of her husband. That is called as Sati Pratha, because the society was thinking that is because her husband already passed away, her husband already died, so there is no necessity to live in this society. That's why that type of system was there, and it was believed that it should be done by the that is widow. It should be done by the wife to prove that he had a great respect to her, that is husband. That's why. And child marriage also, that means in the childhood stage, in the child stage, they had to marry. That means it was also present there, but not in the early Vedic period, in the later Vedic period. The society was divided into 4 varnas. Varnas means caste system, like that already discussed in civics: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras. So let us know about them. So first of all, that Brahmins looked after the religious matters, that means hold the highest position in the society. Religious matters means different type of, it may be related to the temples, it may be related to the worship of God, that type of thing. The Kshatriyas protected people from enemies, that means we can say also the soldiers or army. The Vaishyas were the cultivators and craftsmen, and the Sudras the laborers, the lowest caste, that is the laborers who served the other three classes. That means Sudras worked under Brahmins, worked under Kshatriyas, worked under Vaishyas. Sudras helped Brahmins, helped Kshatriyas, helped Vaishyas. In the early Vedic period, different Varnas had the freedom to marry with any Varna or change the occupation. That means in the early Vedic period, there was no such type of barrier that you are from this Varna, you cannot marry that type of person from other Varna. That type of rigidity, that type of strictness was not there. But in the latter Vedic period, this situation totally changed, and in the latter Vedic period, you cannot change, or you could not change your occupation, you could not change your Varna, you could not marry the person from other Varna. So that type of rigidity and strictness came in the latter Vedic period. Next, that is ashrams. Ashrams means that that is called as that our life. At that time, there was a thinking that our total span of life is 100 years. That means we can survive up to 100 years. So from birth to 100 years, total that span 100 years of time, that was divided into 4 divisions. So 100 years equal to 4 division. So that means what? Each division is coming under, that is 25 years of duration. So that is the thing. The Upanishad divided man's life into 4 ashrams of 25 years each. That means one stage in your life, that is called as ashram, and in this one stage how many years you have to stay, that is 25 years. And there was the belief that you have to live up to, or we can live up to 100 years. That's why that type of division created. So 25 years, first 25 years, that is called as Brahmacharya ashram. It was the stage when a man had to spend first 25 years of his life in Gurukul to learn about the art of life and religion. That means it is the first stage. Then when they went to Gurukul means it is the place just like the that is education institution, just like the school, and they learned how to live the life, how to, that is, know about the religion, etc. And then second phase, after completion of this first stage, that means Brahmacharya ashram, they went to which ashram? That is second stage. It is called as Grihastha ashram. Grihastha ashram means they married, and then they raised a family, they looked after the family. That is next 25 years. So 25 plus 25, 50 years already gone for 2 stages, Brahmacharya and Grihastha ashram. Then next 25 years, that is called as Banapastha ashram. It was the third stage of a man's life. That means next 25 years, when he retired to the forest to meditate. That means for the meditation, that means the people, or the that is Aryan Vedic civilization people, they had to go to the forest for the meditation, leaving the family and leaving the any kind of connection with the family. Next, that is sannyas ashram. Sannyas ashram, it was the last stage of a man's life. That means last 25 years, when he lived a life of complete detachment and spent his time in preaching. That means at that time there was no any connection with the family, there was no such type of, that is, relation with the family, total detachment, and spent his time in preaching. That means to say the name of the God, to find out the God, that type of thing, that was done in the sannyas ashram. That means total life is equal to 100 years, and this 100 year divided into 4 divisions. So first division is called as Brahmacharya ashram, that is first 25 years of the life. Then second division, second stage, that is called as Grihastha ashram. That means next 25 years, that means 50 years gone. Next 25 years, that is for Banapastha ashram, and last 25 years, that is called as sannyas ashram. So ashram means stage of the life. Next, occupations. So agriculture was the main occupation. They domesticated animals like cows, bulls, goats, sheep, dogs. The people were expert in trade. What is trade? Already we discussed. So people also not only crop cultivation but also they domesticated animals, and also they were expert in trade. Not only internal but also international or external trade also. Next, that is religion. Religion means, let us see that what type of god or to whom they worshipped. They worshipped the Indra, that means the god of thunder, the Vayu, the god of wind, the Prithvi, the god of earth, the Agni, the god of fire, the Surya, the sun god. And in the latter Vedic period, they worshipped the Brahma, Vishnu, Rama, Shiva, Krishna. So the difference present in early Vedic period, Indra, Vayu, Prithvi, Agni, Surya were worshipped, and in the latter Vedic period, the Brahma, Vishnu, Rama, Shiva and the Krishna were worshipped. In the latter Vedic period, two religions took birth, Hinduism and Brahmanism. So two religions developed, two religions took birth in the latter Vedic period, Hinduism and Brahmanism. Before that, there was no concept of that type of religion, only they worship the god, that means Indra, the Vayu, the Prithvi, the Agni, the Surya. But in the latter Vedic period, the concept of religion came and two religions took birth, one that is Hinduism, another that is Brahmanism. Next, that is lifestyle. Lifestyle means that how what type of dresses or ornaments, or maybe that what type of entertainment method they took, that type of thing. So let us find out that the people led a happy and simple life. They were happy and also led a simple life. Their clothes were made of cotton, wool, skin of animals. They wore ornaments, they used honey, they played many musical instruments like flute, like drums, etc. They were also fond of chariot racing, dancing. These are the entertainment, that means entertainment things, how to entertain themselves, that is chariot racing, dancing, or it may be playing the musical instrument like flute, drums, etc. Now come to the next, achievements. So achievements means success. What type of important things they got, what type of success they got, in which field they got the success. So let us find out. The Aryans knew, here take a look, Aryans. So the people of Vedic civilization, they were called as Aryans. And who were Aryans? I have already told. The Aryans knew about the use of iron to make stronger tools and weapons. So that is a great success, great achievement. Next, mathematics was known as Ganita. It included geometry, algebra, arithmetic. So that time they knew about the geometry, algebra, arithmetic. And third number, the Vedic people knew about zero, concept of zero in math, that is zero, the digit zero. They also knew cube, cube root, decimal system, square root, etc. Astronomy was the favorite subject of Aryans. Astronomy means it is related to the study of the universe, study of the solar system, study of the planets, that is called as astronomy. They knew about the rotation and revolution of the earth. That means earth is rotating on its own axis, earth is revolving around the sun, moon is also revolving around the earth. That type of concept was also with them. That is called as what? Achievements. So that's all for today, and now I will provide you the PDF file of the question answer of this chapter number 11, and you have to write down. So if you have any doubt in understanding, if you have any query, ask me through the proper channel and without hesitation. So thank you student, that's all for today.